a bill to ban TikTok here in the US could head to the floor as early as next week. Lawmakers are concerned about China using it to spy on Americans. Do you think the bill will pass?
Well, it's the one thing that everyone seems to agree on in the U.S. government. It's, I've never seen such agreement, and it's existed for a while, but it hasn't really. We had a year ago, basically a year ago, we had the CEO of TikTok before Congress and trying to explain himself and promising a whole entire, I think it was called Project Texas, a whole plan that included moving all of the data from China to Oracle Cloud in the U.S. and making the U.S. team larger and basically sealing off all the data and all access as much as possible from the parent company, which is ByteDance in China.
And that, of course, came after TikTok was fined for the collection of information of 150 million Americans. And it wasn't just information that they posted on TikTok. It was any sort of data anytime they used their phone. Do you think you can completely trust TikTok now?
Well, here's the thing. I'm definitely not saying TikTok is perfect. They absolutely made mistakes with data. They even had some people that were accessing like US journalists' data. Like they've had to clean up their act significantly. And that's happened a number of times over the years with TikTok, which started as a company called Musical.ly. So it's had a long history. But to be fair, US social media companies are no better. The sloppy management of data runs across basically every social media platform that we know of, whether they're in the US or they're owned by China. It doesn't seem to matter because data is so powerful, it's so important, and usually it's all about selling ads against it, right? The thing that's really question here is whether or not China has nefarious purposes. Is it manipulating the algorithm to try and shape and mold the minds of young people? Is it telling the US operation to give them access to the data? There are no indications that it's doing any of these things, but that is the continued concern.
Exactly. And of course, TikTok denies these spying allegations. They put out a statement that said this legislation will trample the First Amendment rights of 170 million Americans and deprive 5 million small businesses of a platform they rely on to grow and create jobs. Lance, back in 2020, you wrote an article that had the headline, "If TikTok goes, so does my liberty." Do you still believe that today?
I mean, I think it's first of all, 2020, what an interesting year. TikTok sort of was the thing that felt like it supported all of us at the time because we're all trapped in our houses, didn't know what to do. And there was this platform just sitting there that allowed us to connect and feel free and to dance and do whatever and have, it felt pretty open too. And, why the government wanted to get involved at that point was beyond me. I understand the concerns with China. But I also know that we buy a lot of stuff from China. Our iPhones, many of them are made in China. Now, companies are trying to move these things away. But it's always been interesting to me that so much attention is paid to TikTok when there are myriad other issues that we'd like to see solved sooner. So, there's a way to start to move this conversation forward by educating users about when they are on these platforms, what does that actually mean and what they should and shouldn't share? Because there's a way to use TikTok without really sharing much information about yourself at all, but people don't think about that much in the same way they don't think about it when they're on Facebook. So I think I'm not in favor of a ban. I think that would harm, first of all, there's 7,000 US employees at TikTok. And then there are the 150 million plus US users of the platform. Many of them are businesses. And a ban will do nothing but harm all of those people. There has to be another path forward. One thing I've started talking about on social media is whether or not ByteDance will sell.
And there's also the other issue that if this ban were to happen, that some other platform would appear in its place. But we'll leave that for another day. We'll see how this plays out here in Congress. Lance Ulanoff, good to have you with us. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Well, the weekend weather forecast looking pretty quiet across East Asia, but the heat is on in southern Australia where temperatures are set to sizzle. Chad Myers joins me now from the CNN Weather Centre. And Chad, it's meant to be autumn in Australia, which is fall here, but it feels like summer.
It does. Melbourne's going to be 37 degrees for the next 3 days straight. Then a cold front comes by and it gets better. But yes, it is going to take some time here with some almost record-breaking temperatures, without a doubt. So here we go. Most of Europe is in good shape. Most of China is in good shape today. The only place that on my map that's seeing too much here is more snow for the western prefectures of Japan. They're saying, wait a minute, give me a daffodil here once, not another 30 centimeters of snow, but unfortunately, that's what they're going to get. Now, they go play in it, I get it, and it's a lovely place with all of that snow to really enjoy. And that snow doesn't get into Tokyo because we're still going to be well above freezing here, 8, 9 degrees for the afternoon high. But the cold air is kind of slow to be going away here. There's warm air trying to get here. Spring is trying to arrive in China. It's just taking kind of a longer trek than I think a lot of people would like. Tokyo, you get above normal here finally by next week, but still very close to normal all of the week, just a few showers coming through. And then we get down here to Australia, where the heavy rain is in the same place that it has been now, just stuck in this pattern now for at least 5 days. Heavy rainfall again. We are going to see another 150 millimeters of rain in places that have already seen it, and have seen it over and over and over and over and over the past couple of days. There's the cooler air, mild air trying to get up here into Melbourne, but it is going to take some time. And here are the numbers here for today, very warm. But finally here, the heat will just relinquish by Monday and Tuesday of next week, 37, 37, 36, and then voila, 24. There's your fall.
24. That sounds lovely. A little bit better than 37. Good luck to all my family in Melbourne this weekend. Chad Myers, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. You bet.